The global market sell-off is finally here. In this video, we will try to understand and see if there are some bigger longer term opportunities in this market or there is more pain coming to the downside. Let's dive in. Hey traders, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another weekend video. All the markets are falling from the cliff. If we see the S&P 500, the nasdaq, the Dow Jones or even commodities like silver and gold, everything is falling from the cliff due to Trump winning, aka Trump tariffs.
You may even get tired of winning and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning.
In this video, we will be going through different assets, different commodities and different indexes, and we will see if this is a longer term buying opportunity or there is more pain coming to the downside. If we see all the major indexes and all the major assets like gold and silver, they are testing some major demand levels on the weekly and daily time frames. We can clearly see that S&P 500 on the last Friday, it tested a major support or demand zones. Same thing for the nasdaq, same thing for gold and same thing for silver as well. If we go a little bit on the past in the S&P 500 and if we try to see that what happened when previously we had such big sell-offs, we can clearly see in the S&P 500 we saw a major sell-off here, but it was instantly bought. We saw a sell-off here, but it again got instantly bought. Again we saw a sell-off and it got instantly bought. But now the question is here at the present, will this be also a dip buying opportunity or there is more pain coming to the downside and the markets will keep on crashing? The S&P 500 or the nasdaq or the Dow Jones, all these assets, they are falling from the cliff for the past few weeks due to two major factors. The first is going to be the trade war uncertainty and the second is going to be the recession fears.
You may even get tired of winning.
Trump administration, they have finally put tariffs on different countries, okay, and they are much worse than expected. That's why we are seeing some major reaction in these markets. Previously the markets were falling because of the uncertainty. We had different question marks. We didn't know how much the tariffs are coming, on what countries they will be implemented, will there be some negotiations or not, and how the global markets will be affected by all this tariff drama. That's why we were seeing people selling their stocks and investing in some safe haven assets like gold and silver. But last week, we finally got some more details about the tariffs and we finally came to know that the tariffs, they are way worse than what the markets were pricing in. The tariffs are implemented almost on every country and they are much higher than the expectations. And also some other countries like China, they have also announced that they will retaliate. They will put more tariffs on America for retaliation purposes. And that's why last week again we saw more pressure to the downside on the major indexes like the S&P 500 or the nasdaq or even the Dow Jones. So this was happening previously, but now we are coming to the main question is that is this over or a major trade war is ahead of us and we are going to see more downside in the markets? I am currently bullish on the markets. I am currently bullish on the Dow Jones. I am bullish on the S&P 500. I am bullish on the Nasdaq. And personally, I have been taking this sell-off as a longer-term buying opportunities. I have been accumulating shares of Tesla and I have been accumulating shares of Nvidia as well in this major market sell-off. And obviously, those are some very longer-term investments, maybe for the next 5 or 10 years. Right now, we have to talk about from a trading perspective. That are some investments which I am obviously doing because of this major sell-off, because I am getting some bigger discounts because of this sell-off. But from a trading perspective, we have to see that is the Nasdaq or the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones, is this a buying opportunity in them? We can clearly see that we are testing a major support. We actually tested a major support zone on the Nasdaq. I am, as I told earlier, I am bullish on the Nasdaq. The question is why I am bullish on the Nasdaq. I am bullish because the uncertainty which we had related to tariffs, is finally behind us. We had a lot of question marks, like on what countries the tariffs will be implemented, at what pace the tariffs will be implemented, are we going to be open for negotiations, and will we negotiate, and stuff like this. All these question mark, they have been answered. We finally know that what is happening. Now, there are some more question marks to it, which are how other countries are going to retaliate, and will these countries negotiate, and will America accept their deals, their negotiations, or not. So, these are the few question marks which are still left. But you have to understand that tariffs, they are just tools. They are tools to achieve some deals, to get deals done, to get trade deals done. And Trump administration is currently using them like this, exactly like this, which I have explained you. That's why I think, because of the uncertainty which is finally behind us, we can see at least a short term bounce on the Nasdaq. But this doesn't mean that I am going to risk everything which I have at these levels. No, I want the technicals to you can say, I want the technicals to align with my idea as well. What I need to see on the Nasdaq to start buying the dip from the trading perspective on the Nasdaq, I need to see Nasdaq claiming back some levels of resistance and turning them as support. If we do start to see something like this on the Nasdaq, I will start to buy the Nasdaq as well from a trading perspective. Now, there's a very important thing to it. Many people, they want to buy the dip, they want to buy the first person to buy the dip, and this in my opinion is a very bad strategy. I personally, I don't want to be the first person to buy exactly at the bottom. Like, I don't want to be buy it exactly at here. Okay, I am more happy if I buy it here or buy it here. Why? Because I just want to be on the right side. I want to my risk to be managed. That's why, from a sentimental or from a fundamental perspective, I think that we may have bottomed out. But before entering in the markets, I need some better technical confirmations too. Now, coming to another topic, which is about the recession. The recession odds are continuously rising. Why the recession odds are rising? The recession odds are rising because of trade war drama. Obviously, when you implement tariffs on different countries, they retaliate, they put more tariffs, so the supply chain, it gets disrupted. Okay, due to this, you have some recession fears that the recession might be coming and the US economy may go in the recession. But we are traders and we have to trade based on some facts. And what are the facts right now? The facts right now are that the US economy is still very much strong. The US labor market, we saw the NFP numbers, they were quite high above the expectations, like they were beautifully above the expectations. So this simply tells you that the labor market is also very well, it is at the right place. Yes, there are some uncertainties due to trade wars, but again, as I told you earlier, that they are just tools and nothing else. And it is very possible that many countries will come to America, many countries, they will come to America and they will do some deals done. And on Sunday, today, we also got some news about different countries that they are ready to cut the tariffs, they are ready to negotiate with Trump and stuff like this. So all this uncertainty which we had due to tariffs is getting faded away. That's why I think that the bottom may be is in, and I am looking for some buying opportunities on the Nasdaq. But again, as I told you earlier, I'm not going to just buy and buy here and risk everything here. No, I will wait for some better technical confirmations, and I am more happy to be on the right side than to be the first person to buy the dip. So this is my game plan for the Nasdaq. And if in the next week Nasdaq continues to tumble, or if other countries say that we are not going to negotiate, and they keep on implementing tariffs on America, and America keep on implementing tariffs on those countries, then obviously Nasdaq can see more downside. This is very possible. Okay, we are just getting an idea of what to do if this happens. Okay, and my idea is that we have bottomed out on the Nasdaq, but we need better technical confirmations before entering, so we can manage our risk in a proper way. Now, talking about the Dow Jones or even the S&P 500, same thing for the Dow Jones as well. Dow Jones also tested a major, almost tested, nearly tested a major support zone on the daily and the weekly time frame. And same thing for the Dow Jones too, as the Dow Jones is another risky asset. I think we have bottomed out on the Dow Jones as well. And I will like to buy the Dow Jones as well if we start to see some higher highs on some smaller time frames, maybe the H4 time frame. I will be looking for better technical confirmations to buy the dip. Currently, I'm simply, as I told you for the Nasdaq, I am not going to buy right here. I don't want to be the first person to buy. I just want to be in the right direction. Same thing for the S&P 500 too. Now we will talk a little bit about US oil. We can see that the US oil is also crashing recently. And the question is why the US oil is crashing. The US oil is crashing because it is pricing in a recession. As I told you earlier, due to trade wars, the odds of a recession are continuously rising. Okay. And oil at the same time is also signaling a recession. That's why we are seeing a major sell off in oil. And it will be very impressive to see if oil breaks below the $60 per barrel levels. If it does, then there will be something to be worried about. But as I told you earlier, I don't think so that a recession is a base case currently. I think that we have bottomed out on many important indexes like the Nasdaq or the Dow Jones, because again, a recession is not happening currently. The US economy is very much strong, and the US labor market at the same time is very much strong. The inflation is at the right place. Obviously, it's a little above the Fed's target, but still it is at a well managed place. So, recession is not the base case right now, and we can see all these indexes bottoming out very soon. Now, talking about gold, we saw a major sell off in gold, and I actually took that sell off as a buying opportunity for me. I sold gold in my Telegram channel. You can join our Telegram channel from the link in the description. I sold gold 2 or 3 times in the last week from these levels, and we gained some massive profits on gold. I will attach a screenshot here so you can see, and all those trades they were shared inside my free Telegram channel. So if you are someone who is interested in some educational content and some trade ideas, you can join our Telegram channel from the link given in description. It's totally free to join, no cap. Now, I sold gold last week, and why I sold gold and how I got able to caught the top on gold. See, the gold previously we had some wild swings to the upside on gold. And why these were happening? These were happening because of the trade war uncertainty. Because we had a lot of question marks that what is going to happen with the trade war? What is America going to do? Okay, and what other countries will do in response of that? So all this uncertainty, this led people to buy gold to hedge against their portfolio. Okay, you can see that when there was uncertainty, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, S&P 500, all these indexes they were getting sold heavily. Why? Because people were taking their money out from all these risky assets to safe haven assets like gold. That's why we were seeing some massive spikes to the upside in gold. But on Friday we saw a massive downside move on gold. Why we saw this and why I am buying gold currently? We saw this massive move to the downside on gold on Friday because of the reasons I told you earlier. The reasons are the trade war uncertainty, the uncertainty which gave us a lot of question marks. Most of the question marks were answered when Trump came out and he gave us the details about tariffs, that how much tariffs is going to implement on different countries and stuff like this, and he also told that he is open to negotiations. So the uncertainty due to which the gold was rising, that uncertainty, some of that uncertainty was faded away, and that's why we saw some profit taking move in gold. Now there's another coin side of the coin into this. The other side is the recession fear. Okay, now a recession is generally, in the long run, is a bullish thing for gold, but in the short run it is a bearish thing for gold. Why it is a bearish thing for gold? It is a bearish thing because when the recession odds are rising, when the fear of a recession is rising, the investors, the hedge fund managers, the institutions, all the people, they go and sell their winning assets like gold to raise cash. Okay, and what they do with this cash? They do wait for some better opportunities in risky assets to buy them again, like the Nasdaq or stuff like this. So when the recession odds are rising, they do sell their winning assets and raise cash to wait and go and buy the dips in risky assets like the nasdaq or the S&P 500, or maybe some other major stocks too, like Tesla, Nvidia, Google, Microsoft, Apple, stuff like this. What happens in the short run. And about the long run, in the long run, gold stays bullish in a recession or when the recession odds are rising. Why? Because of the economical uncertainty. In the short run, they sell their winners like gold to raise cash, but in the long run, they again put back their cash into gold, some of that cash in gold, to hedge their portfolio, to tackle with the economical uncertainty, to tackle with the recession or the recession fears, stuff like this. That's why we are currently buying gold. Okay. I will go a little more in detail about gold, that why we have bought gold currently. So you can see on Friday, we saw a massive sell-off on Friday, and we tested a major support zone on the daily time frame around the 3020 zone. Okay. And I took this as a buying opportunity. So technically you can see that we are in a clear uptrend on gold. And that's why when we tested this major demand zone, I took this as a buying opportunity on gold. And I have also drawn a fib on this, and you can very clearly see that if we see on the fib that we almost tested the 50% retracement level. So this was the technical aspect behind it. And the sentimental effect, I have already told you that people first, they sell their winning assets like gold to raise cash, and then they sit with their cash, hold their cash to look for opportunities in the risky assets, and some portion of that cash again goes into gold due to the economical uncertainty, due to the tariff fears or stuff like this. Now, I have bought gold again. The fundamental aspect behind this is that the rate cut forecast have been rising recently. Obviously, that too is because of the recession fears. The people previously were expecting Fed to do two rate cuts, or some were even expecting to do one rate cut this year. But now the forecasts have been rising, and people are expecting Fed to do at least four rate cuts this year. And it means that people are expecting interest rates to go much lower than they previously expected. And the lower the interest rates, the better it is for gold. So this is the one reason. The second reason is that you have some economical uncertainty, you have recession fears rising, you have trade war uncertainty, because there are a lot of question marks which are still needed to be answered. And those question marks are how the negotiations will go, or is this going to be a major trade war? Is this going to be a very major global trade war, or all the global economies will go in a recession? So there are many question marks which are still needed to be answered. That's why, due to this uncertainty, as gold is always favored by the uncertainty, I have bought gold again. And also the economical data of the US, the labor market data, it also supports gold bullishness. Because why? Because I have just told you that the economical data or the labor market data for the US is doing well. But in the long run, it is slowing down. Okay. It is not crashing. If it was crashing, then we would have been seeing a bigger sell-off than we are seeing currently. It is just slowing down a little bit. So this creates a little more economical uncertainty. You have interest rates expectations coming down, and you have recession fears, and you have trade war uncertainty. There are a lot of question marks which are still needed to be answered. So these are some factors which contribute, which ask me to buy gold again. And also another important factor is that the global central bank demand for gold is very healthy still. Okay. So these are some of the factors why I have bought gold. And even if in the next week gold takes me out, I will still be interested to buy gold again, maybe at the test of this 68% retracement level. And this also aligns perfectly with this major support zone around the 2950s. So if next week gold takes me out, I will accept the loss, and I will be looking for some lower levels to buy back gold again, because in the longer run, gold stays bullish. So this was pretty much it for the video. If we talk about the silver, kind of the same thing for the silver, but I am currently not interested to buy silver yet, because silver is more of a industrial metal than a safe haven metal. Gold is a safe haven metal, and it gets favored enough in times like this. But silver is more of a industrial metal, and if the tariffs are continues to rise, if other rise, and other countries keep on putting more tariffs on America, and stuff like this keep on happening, then we can see silver struggling a bit more. So that's why I'm not currently interested in silver. I just want to see some of the negotiations happening. But I am currently in a long position on gold, as I've just told you. And for the Nasdaq or the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones, I am bullish on them from a fundamental and sentimental perspective. And I have been accumulating shares of different companies like Tesla and Nvidia. But from a trading perspective, I need to see some technical confirmations. I need to see it forming some higher highs and higher lows on the smaller time frames, maybe the H4. And if we do see them, then obviously I will be very interested to buy the Nasdaq for the long run. So this was pretty much it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. And just best of luck for your next week. Have patience, use proper risk management, wait for proper confirmations, acknowledge the fundamental and sentimental aspects behind the different assets. Okay, don't just jump in because of some support zone or stuff like this. Acknowledge the proper fundamental and sentimental aspects and keep an eye on different headlines. This will help you in your trading even in the longer run as well. So yeah, best of luck, and best of luck for your trading week.